Hello, is this Sensor Gambino here with a new stream? And this stream I'm going to be doing my event week stream for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. But yeah. Starting off, of course, the new vehicle release is the Mammoth Patriot Mil-Spec. More details on that later. We'll probably customize it around the end of the stream for those who want to see customizations that we do at the end. Plus, there's been ways to see it pretty much at the beginning of the update. Yeah, the typical wheel spin, just 15,000 RP and whatever. But yeah. Okay, let me make sure the audio, alright, yeah, no music volume. But yeah, podium vehicle for the week is the Vapid Slam Truck. The Vapid Slam Truck from the Caprico Heist. It's a vehicle from like a year ago. And it's $1,310,000, and I want to say there is not a trade price for the vehicle. So no matter what, you will be saving that $1,010,000. Plus, you'll save a little bit as well if you keep delivery as it comes. But yeah, Vapid Slam Truck is pretty interesting because it's in the utility class, which is pretty unusual for a DLC vehicle. But yeah, there's not many utility vehicles in the game. So I would really say that it's not going to necessarily be good for a racing vehicle, even though it does perform good in the utility class. But yeah, it's a second place lap time and a second place top speed, going off a Bruffy 1322 spreadsheet that I tend to use. And yeah, there's no utility vehicles, obviously, in the contract DLCs, and that is still up to date, unless they made some like secret change to it or something, but I would highly doubt it. But it performs good, and the customizations are actually pretty good, so honestly, I would kind of recommend it. But you may look at it and you might think you can put vehicles on top, but that is not the case. The best thing it really has to that like extend would be the hydraulics, being able to raise the vehicle like up and down. Hydraulics might be slightly different on it than like the lowriders though, just so people know. But yeah, the best thing it has kind of really is the hydraulics for like a unique feature, I would say. Besides for its unique utility classing. But yeah, good performance in the class, but utility races, I don't really know if much of anyone would really be doing utility races. But still, I think it's a pretty worthy podium vehicle. And yeah, it doesn't function like it looks. You can't just like put a vehicle on top by holding a button or something and locking it in place. You have to drive slowly if you want to keep the vehicle on there. Yeah, I'm assuming classics would be sport classics, but yeah. I'm not going to talk about premium races anymore because they don't really like specify which one it is. They used to specify which one would be on there, but they don't really do that anymore. We have regular time trial for the week. Lake Vonnewood Estates here. But yeah. For the one vehicle I would highly recommend, at least right now, would be the Body 801. The Body 801 is a third place lap time, third place top speed for the motorcycle class, which is kind of the best like average performance, I would say, that you would get out of a vehicle. And yeah, being a motorcycle, of course, you can avoid any oncoming traffic, because of course traffic's obviously not disabled for the time trial. So if I were to say one vehicle that's worth using, it's the Body 801. But that could change, because there is actually 2 motorcycles coming out for the contract DLC. It's not really much of a secret, because they're in like missions and stuff, but yeah. Just know, Body 801 might not be a good vehicle for time trials later down the line, depending on how good those upcoming motorcycles perform. And yeah, I'm gonna just show off the RC Bandito time trial and recommend like a source for those who want like a guide or something. So where's the RC one, I wonder? Okay, I have to find on this little menu here. sorry, Vespucci Beach. But yeah, personally, I don't really remember much of anything about this one. It's been forever since I've done much of any of the time trials. I don't really feel they're worth bothering with personally. Even with the increase in payout from like a couple years ago, I don't necessarily really feel they're too worth doing personally, but yeah. For those who want a guide on it, I recommend GTA Min, I would say. I believe he does like guides with commentary and stuff, and then there's GTA series videos for no commentary guides. That's some like advice on where to go for guides, I suppose. I think that's basically everything worth mentioning about the time trial, or CB and Dito time trial. And I'm going to test track, not test track, but the car meet, obviously, for the prize ride and other things of the sorts. And yeah, by the way, again, I'm a little late with this stream because I wanted to make sure that there wasn't going to be like an extra release of a vehicle or something like they did like the last week for the festive times. So that's why I'm doing this stream on Sunday here. Instead of my usual like not Wednesday, but my usual like Friday. So that's why I'm a couple of days late with this. But I might summarize a little bit on these, like, podium vehicles, not podium vehicles, but the test track vehicles. Not really sure how accurate it's going to be, though, considering they nerfed all the tuners, apparently, with the contract DLC. But yeah, the Remus, I remember before, it was one of the worst of the, like, 12 tuner sport cars, so obviously with the nerf, I imagine it's even worse now. The Futo GTX, this one I recall being pretty good in top speed, at least before the nerf, and could be one of the better top speed vehicles for a street pursuit race for the tuner subclass, obviously. And Calico GTF at least was one of the top few like tuner vehicles, and even with the nerf, because all the tuners got nerfed, I imagine would probably be around the same like kind of pacing. So that's a little some ideas on what's kind of worth going for. A couple of these could be kind of worth going for aside for the Remus, I would say, for a performance standpoint from what I recall from Ruffy 1322, but yeah, can't really look at tuner performance on the spreadsheet because that's only full classes, not subclasses. And yeah, again, the prize ride is actually a more interesting one like last time. Which, yeah, they're probably just doing that because of it being the festive surprise and stuff like that, because there's a Christmas Eve livery on it, obviously. But yeah, the challenge here, place top 4 in 8 races. I kind of want to say this is a repeat challenge from the last time, place top 4 in 8 races. Could be wrong though. But yeah, LS Car Meet Series, it basically means the street races and then the pursuit races. The easier of the two being the street races, because that's the lesser minimum, being 2 players instead of a 4-player minimum. So you can do pursuit races with the bare minimum of the 4 players. So with pursuit races, it can be kind of ideal, but yeah. If you're doing like random pursuit races, I wouldn't really expect someone to just do with the minimum necessarily. So yeah, I would probably recommend just street races as usual. might also include the like sprint races that you can invite people to and like free mode and stuff like that. It could include that, but I'm not really. Either way, I feel people don't tend to join the like. Either way, I feel that like random people don't tend to join the sprint races personally, so I would still recommend the street races. And yeah, Ardent is a pretty interesting vehicle. It's actually from the gun running update, which yeah, most vehicles they do on here is usually just tuner vehicles, which they've basically done all the tuner vehicles aside for, I believe, the Comet S2, the regular one. But Ardent might be, I would say, maybe kind of the best value prize ride, especially with the nerf of the tuners now that they've done so far. And yeah, a little preview of some discounts obviously will be on there. Alright. But yeah, Ardent's over here. Part of gun running. Ardent's 1,150,000. And yeah, being a festive livery, I think it's usually free, but they might have given it out for like an event week or something. So if you missed out on like a previous event week from like years ago or something, you might have missed out on the livery. So it could be kind of an exclusive livery as far as I know. It might be more of a rare livery on it. But yeah, beyond Warstock, it's obviously weaponized. You can actually put machine guns on it. But you can actually put machine guns on it, but I don't really necessarily remember them being that good of machine guns. And really, aside for the machine guns, it's not really necessarily that great, I would say. I believe it does perform good for the Sport Classic class, but the problem is you apparently cannot use Ardent in races. It's not like some later like vehicle releases with weapons on it where they just disable the weapons and you can still use them in races. The Ardent you apparently cannot use in races whatsoever for like the ones in like the lobby screens and whatnot. The Ardent, because it has the option for machine guns, I would say it's definitely one that would be worth going for, and the challenge is pretty easy. You can do it in just a day, I imagine. So yeah, there's no like day limit on there. Like you don't have to do like a days in a row or something. So yeah, Ardent should be a pretty good one to go for. But don't expect it to necessarily do too much more than the other like prize rides, because it's mainly only the machine guns that make it stand out, I would say. And plus, it's one of the couple that aren't like tuners finally, since they're finally doing prize rides that aren't tuner vehicles. But it might just be for Festive Surprise, obviously. And yeah, I didn't bother calling this a Festive Surprise DLC because they took out the snow. Because they took out the snow, that's like a Grinch move, so I decided to just call it Contract DLC Week Free Editions. For those wondering. Alright. But yeah, I do want to talk about a couple of money opportunities, which I think I'm kind of on that part anyways, unless there's like some login rewards or something. And there is kind of some pretty good money opportunities, I would say, this time around, no doubt. Just gotta make sure there's no like login reward thing or anything first, I suppose. Alright, just getting the blue glow shades and then the party glow necklace. I'll probably just read off the newswire because there's not really much of a good way of showing it off. But yeah, tell me I thought it melted in snow, but there's stories in Celebrate. Turning yourself into the life of the party or make yourself stick out like a sore thumb. All T-Town players will receive the blue glow shades and party glow necklace for free, all the better for help ring in the new year. So it's basically just an event week thing. You just get in the game and you basically get it. If you want to get it as fast as you can just get out of your property and then you can like do a clothing change, because apparently that like instantly saves the game, because like whenever you do a clothing change, the icon, the like orange icon kind of shows up, which basically means the game saves when you do an outfit switch. If for some reason you didn't want anything but the clothing for any reason, Make sure to type stretch holiday season as much as possible. Holiday themed masks, clothing, and accessories and other festive items are also still available. But yeah, I expect this to be the last event week where there's going to be the like festive clothing, but I don't think any of it really costs. I think it's all free, obviously. It's all pretty much for the most part goes away, obviously, after festive surprise. And yeah, all the down players who play this week will get a festive farewell surprise care package consisting of the dashing brown sea lion mask, green festive tee, firework launcher, 20 rockets for the firework launcher, full snacks and armor, 25 sticky bombs, grenades, and then 10 proximate mines, and then 10 Molotovs. And yeah, I've been playing Deep Down Online, doing some security contracts and stuff for the trade price of the Patriot Mil-Spec, so I cannot really show it off in my like info section or anything, so I'll show off a couple clothing things, I suppose. Might as well. One of them, the green festive tee, will obviously pretty much just be in any clothing store. Otherwise, you basically go in a wardrobe, whereas the mask, you can maybe just show off for the interaction menu, because I think you can do masks for the interaction menu, just not like full-on like clothing, I think. Like shirts and pants, I don't think you can do that for the interaction menu. I think that has to be done in a wardrobe. And yeah, I can't use the clothing store in the car meet, obviously, because that's car meet specific clothing. Okay, a payphone hit, apparently. I might actually do that to show off a money opportunity, actually. Unless it goes away for any reason. I already did a stream of the payphone hits, by the way. Not all of them, but some of them, because I didn't really feel like going through, like, pure randomness until I got, like, every single one of them, obviously, because that would be, like, probably a few hours instead of, like, a couple hours. And yeah, festive tops. Yeah, basically the same one from last time, except that's green, but for some reason it still has some red in it, which is kind of nice, in my opinion. Definitely really like those, quite frankly. And yeah, because I actually like some of the money opportunities this time, because there's some of the better things it could have done, in my opinion, I will do at least a couple things, maybe, for money making on stream, so I can show off a little what I'm talking about. And yeah, I'm gonna see if I can do the sea lion mask here real quick. Pretty sure there's a way of doing that. Style? Yeah, style. Yeah, last time was the clownfish mask. This week is the brown sea lion. That's the mask. I'm actually going to accept this because there's actually a money opportunity on it.
Alright, look, so the internet is a huge and terrible place that I still
I think this is a duplicate, and I've already got. Even on stream, I feel.
I seen some creepy ass nasty stuff on their message boards, and they got the whole fucking army out there dumping and pumping this shit.
And yeah, I'm trying to see if it's new or not. That's why I'm watching it. Because I know I can skip it.
Including a bunch of our clients. And right now, they targeting a stock pick that we all should be worried about. It's a tall ass.
And hopefully I can get the bonus here so I can show it off better.
As you can before they crash the fucking stock. And look, if you do right, a lot of very
this might be the trolls, I don't know.
And we gonna get paid.
Yeah, it could be the trolls. I think I had that one. Can't really tell since it's been a while, but yeah, the trolls. But yeah, the payphone hits are on a 1.5 times. Whoa. I apparently got one literally right next to me, apparently. Okay. Ah, I failed it already? Fuck, that's stupid. Fuck, man. Did you even tell me the bonus already? I have to, like, wait for this stupid bonus even though it spawned one right next to me. Wait, there's 4 of them. They expect you to run them over with a vehicle. Are you fucking serious? Dude, that's dumb. And yeah, I know they changed, obviously, but yeah, it's really dumb. I'll probably do it and then I'll explain what the payout is, because I've already done some during the event week, so I already know what the payout is. That's so dumb running them over with a vehicle. Like, yeah, obviously there's helicopters, but do I really want to risk, like, running into them with a helicopter? I don't know if, like, the blades would count. I could maybe be good. But still, it didn't give me it until, like, I killed the first one already. So that could be a good strategy for that one, for example. At the same time, I can only shoot a regular like payout if you don't get the bonus on this 1.5 times at least. I don't know, that's kind of better because I already kind of know like what it is. But yeah, the regular payout is not necessarily that great, so if you want good money from these, definitely do those bonuses. That was a mistake jumping into it right away though. I was just like, holy shit, when it actually spawned right next to me. I was actually pretty hyped about that, because that does not usually happen, obviously. And I'm just going to do it like that, obviously, because I already failed it. So yeah, the game doesn't tell you literally right away. You have to wait for some fucking reason. You would think they would tell you right away in case you were to be next to one literally right away, but I guess not. But yeah, the rotor kills could definitely be the best way to go about that one. Because I don't know what vehicle you would really use to run into these people. Probably some rocket boosted one would be the best one, because they're in like all kinds of different places. Aside for obviously a helicopter and like the rotor blades. Your way really dumb isn't literally tell you right away. But again, I basically know the payout. But I want to say you get like 20-ish thousand on 1.5 times without the bonus, which will obviously be seen because I failed it, because one literally spawned next to me and it didn't tell me my fucking bonus until after I killed him, of course. Of course, it would tell me I failed it right away, but it won't tell me what it actually fucking was right away. Like, yeah, maybe that was my fault. I should have maybe waited for the bonus thing, but still, that's ridiculous. It can't just tell you right away. Especially when one literally spawned right next to me. So I still blame Rockstar for that one, because that's just dumb game design. But yeah, the normal payout is 22,500, and I believe the bonus is 100 or 105,000 on the 1.5 times. So yeah, the 22,500 that means it payouts if you don't get a bonus. Especially, yeah, there's some that's stuck, like putting a vehicle on fire. Which, yeah, there's not a lot of ways of doing that aside for the equipment that they provide, unless you want to, like, waste a Molotov cocktail, which knows you can't even buy from them, like, ammunition. So, yeah, some challenges are just a bitch, quite frankly, but, yeah. Other ones are definitely super simple and easy and whatnot. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure the 127,500 is the, like, maximum payout on a 1.5 times money. So yeah, normally it's 15,000 on the regular, the 1.5 times made it to 22,500. And I'm pretty sure the payout for the thing normally is 100, not 100,000, but 70,000 if you get the bonus. So 70,000 normally for the bonus, 1.5 times. I get 45,000, 105,000. So yeah, you can make crazy money right now with the payphone hits if you get that bonus for 105,000 for free mode money, and that's pretty good for free mode money, I would say. That you want like right away and not having to build up a heist for an hour, obviously. Which obviously I don't mind, I'm just comparing it. And yeah. I might go to the agency because it's more detailed, but yeah. The thing in the agency you can do also has a 1.5 times money. Went over all the like login rewards, so it's mainly the money opportunities at this point, and then also the discounts. And yeah, obviously being new content, I didn't expect these to be on 2 times already, so 1.5 times makes a lot of sense for something from literally the latest update. But yeah, I'm curious if they're being like actually generous with these like payphone hits, the assassination things, the Dr. Dre stuff, and other like recent like content additions being like 1.5 times money, or if that suggests that this update's not doing so good somehow. Which I would expect this update to be good because Franklin came back, but yeah, I don't know. Might not be as popular as like Santos tuners, which they apparently had record-breaking numbers for, I think I heard. Believe it or not. So I don't know if they're being generous, if they're just doing this because not a lot of people are coming back to the game or something, I don't know.
Anything I can do for you, boss?
Scott, I mean the robbery contracts from the tuners update didn't get, like, money opportunities in, like, the third or fourth week of the update. I'm pretty certain of it. I'll try to see how much I can remember about the stuff on here. But yeah, remember, you can do invite-only lobbies. It was just like the first couple of days, I think, where you had to be in a public lobby. But yeah. I'll talk about these couple, I guess, mainly. But yeah, liquidized assets here, locating and destroying equipment. This one's not a... I think this one's kind of one of the better ones, I would say, at least. Recover valuables. This one's not bad either. It's kind of just shoot everything in your sight and, like, recover something, whereas this one's shoot everything in your sight and, like, destroy the place you go to. Definitely avoid asset protection, though. This one's a bitch. And this one you provide protection for the client's assets. Which, yeah, I'm sure there's ways you could do it good. Like, I hear people tend to use, like, tanks and maybe, like, the armored Kuruma and stuff like that. Could be good for asset protection. Yeah. Let's say for the security contract for asset protection. The thing is, it lasts a minimum of 10 minutes, so there is a minimal time limit that it lasts, which isn't good for grinding contracts. You want to be able to get them done as fast as possible. Having a 10-minute minimum for the asset protection to last is not really ideal, to say the least. And not only that, I think when I did it on my stream of doing the payphone hits and the security contracts, I believe you actually lose money if any of the like asset stuff gets destroyed, obviously, because you're supposed to like protect a certain amount of like asset stuff, and when it gets destroyed, you're obviously gonna logically make less money. So I think for this annoying 10-minute time limit that you basically have to wait through, whereas other ones are basically on your own pace, and also because you can actually lose money on this failure if any of it gets destroyed. Asset protection, absolutely avoid, I would say. There's one that's not on here. I believe there's like 6 of these in total, I believe. It's like 6 different types of security contracts, but there's one where you have to like recover a vehicle essentially. So you're essentially like repossessing a vehicle, kind of like what Franklin did in the early days of the story mode. But the vehicle one, in my opinion, is not too bad unless you get like the one in Humane Labs, which has like the monkey or something like that, having to literally take a vehicle from Humane Labs to the agency, considering all of them is in the city. That's kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. And there's 2 other ones on here. I think I remember what they both are. There's another one that's not on here, similar to that vehicle one I mentioned, where you have to basically like collect someone, you have to like collect the person and you protect them, you have to escort them to safety. That one's not too bad in my opinion, just make sure they don't die, which is pretty easy when you use like the stone hatchet or like heavy rifle, like an assault shotgun, stuff like that, I would say. And last but not least, gang termination. You'd think gang termination, since you just kill people, basically would be a good one of the best ones you can do for gang termination. However, I actually had one bug out on me where the like last person actually wasn't like spawned or something like that, so I basically had to like quit the game entirely. Or whatever, essentially go into like a new lobby. So gang termination would be good if it wasn't bugged out right now, because obviously Rockstar has a lot of like bugs with their updates apparently. So basically avoid asset protection because of this stupid 10-minute timer, and then you can lose money if any of the asset gets destroyed. And then gang termination, at least for now, I would avoid because it can be buggy where like one person won't spawn and therefore you are kind of soft locked and can't complete the thing, therefore you have to go into a new lobby. Yeah, liquidize assets, recover valuables, the one where you steal a vehicle back from someone who stole it, and then the one where you like escort the person to safety. Those 4 are pretty good to do. So asset protection for sure, I would say no. And at least for now, gang termination because it's buggy at the moment. Because I had one at like the Sandy Shores Motel and one of them just didn't spawn apparently. And I hear other people had that issue. Maybe not just in that location. And yeah, trust me, I checked. I've even used like thermal vision even and I didn't find one. And yeah. Right, I want to talk about the difficulties as well. So back to here. But yeah, professional, and then specialist. But yeah, professional is the least difficulty, so that's the worst difficulty because it gets the less payout. In my opinion, difficulty doesn't mean much. Like, it doesn't become that much harder. The pay on difficulty is mainly just to determine the payout in my experience. Specialist is the second highest, and Specialist Plus is the third highest. Now, I think when the update first came out, the Specialist Plus was capped at $75,000. However, I think they nerfed it recently, where it's actually capped at $70,000, I believe, for a Specialist Plus. So I think they took away 5,000 from what I heard, because I think I heard they nerfed Specialist Plus by like 5,000 for whatever fucking reason. So Rockstar's a Rockstar, they like to nerf things. So yeah, given the 70,000 maximum kinda for a Specialist Plus on normal money, it's basically the same money you get for the assassination, like payphone hit missions, where you can at most get 105,000 on 1.5 times money on a Specialist Plus. So that's kind of most you can make on one security contract. And yeah, I think there's rewards kind of for doing like a certain amount of security contracts up to 200. I think on my leak video I said it was up to 500, but I think Rockstar, like, of course, nerfed that as well, where it maxed out at 200. Which makes the grind a lot less tedious, but also means your safe cash only maxes out at like 20,000 for like 48 minutes or something. So that's a really cool long-term goal you can go for, is you can get your like safe take to get up to like $20,000 every 48 minutes, which is kind of decent. Because for example, the arcade I think maxes out at 5,000 for 48 minutes. The nightclub, it mainly gives you like 100 if you don't bother with the like popularity missions, but yeah, if you do the popularity missions or like swap DJs and stuff, then the nightclub one's pretty good too. And yeah, the safe maxes out at like 250,000. So yeah, 20,000, 48 minutes. Like yeah, it's not as good as it was apparently when the update first came out, but it's a lot less of a grind. That's a little long-term goal to go for. And yeah, I do recommend going to the agency computer, by the way. I don't recommend doing it on the phone. Because if you do on the phone, you just get a random one, like with the payphone hits. But if you go on the computer, you have those free options, obviously, and you know, like, which one you'll get. So it's a lot better to go here, even though it could be kind of annoying. Because like I mentioned, asset protection is a bitch, since if anything gets destroyed, you can lose payout because of that. And also lasts a minimum of 10 minutes, which is pretty bad, compared to things that let you go on your own pace, which basically ends on your own pace. And yeah, obviously with Termination being bugged out, you won't really want to be getting those as well. So that's why I would recommend going to the computer. So obviously with at least 3, and I said there's like 2 to avoid, you're basically guaranteed to get one good one if you go to the computer, I would say. So yeah, you're at least guaranteed a good mission, I would say, if you go to the computer, whereas if you do it for the phone, then you get that randomness from Franklin. And I'm going back to car meet for now. There might be stuff I need to talk about out here as well, not in the car meet, like the VIP works, I think, for example, because I think VIP work has a money opportunity right now, which that's a pretty good one too. Besides for the payphone hits and the new security contracts. I'm starting with the ones that are on the pause menu because they're kind of harder to explain in some cases if I don't feel like going to the business, which can take time, obviously. But yeah, special cargo. Special cargo is on a 2 times money RP. But yeah, special cargo normally is actually one of the better ways of making like RPs. If you want to rank up, yeah. Damn it, couldn't speak there apparently, but yeah. If you want to rank up really fast, then the special cargo can be pretty good, and probably make some good RP if you sell even just like one crate of special cargo. I believe it's one of the top couple better ways of making RP. At least it was like a year or 2 ago, and I imagine it still is, so it is a good way of ranking up if for some reason you would want that for any reason. For status or for like actual rank up, if you're a low rank or something, and somehow have special cargo or something. And yeah, just I think that's how I mainly got to my like 600, like 700 like rank or something. I think I mainly did like special cargo back in the days of like solo public lobbies, being able to just change like date and time on the PS4 or something. But yeah. And then money, obviously, the money is really good. Even though it's the first business in the game, the money is really good. You can make like multiple millions, but you can only like source 3 crates at a time. And they max out at 111 per warehouse. If you have large warehouses, 5 of them like myself, that's some serious bank you can make, no doubt. But I don't really feel the grind's that worth it, honestly. Plus, not to mention you have to pay for the crates as well, so if somebody destroys your, like, cargo, you're losing out on, like, I think 18,000 at most normally, unless it's on, like, discount right now. Which even then it wouldn't be that much, like, lower or anything. But it's a very risk-reward business, so you want to make sure you're in like really good lobbies and stuff like that if you are going to go down the special cargo route. Which, yeah, if you put the effort into it, it's pretty good. Since you can have so many of them compared to like the other businesses. At the same time, that risk-reward of losing money if your stuff gets destroyed, even when you're sourcing this stuff, not just for selling. I don't really feel it's necessarily that great, but still, definitely very good regardless of any risk. It's just very risk-reward compared to the rest of the businesses, especially being the first business in the game. Which I think it basically mentioned like the need-to-know basis on it. I'm not going to really go into sourcing and sell missions because there's so many that's kind of hard to remember. And even then, like, sell missions aren't necessarily that difficult as long as people don't go after you, as far as I remember. But yeah, VIP work and challenges are on 2 times money RP as well, and those are very good. Or at least the VIP work. I would say the challenges are kind of because you do need other players. So if you're more of a lone wolf player like myself, not good. And not everyone makes an equal amount of money, whereas in VIP work, everyone makes the same money. So it's just better in general to do VIP work over the challenges. But yeah, Cloud, smash all enemies, apply credit, season Phantom Wedge. But yeah, for these first 8 with the special vehicles, you do need to own said special vehicle to do these, by the way, as the host. But yeah. This one, I believe, makes $60,000 on double compared to like $30,000 on regular money at a maximum. And it kind of fluctuates like around 5,000 depending on like how long it takes and whatnot. But yeah, I would just finish them like as soon as possible. So like 55 to 60,000 for like 10 to 15 minutes. That's not that bad, I would say, for free mode money even to this day. But the new contract update does have some pretty good free mode money makers now with the payphone hits, especially right now being like over almost 130,000 if you can get that bonus, which is pretty easy most of the times. So because of that, I feel it does kind of make VIP work kind of start to decline in terms of its usefulness, but yeah, either way, Cloud, very good still. Fully loaded, you don't make that much money from this one. It's like, I don't know, it might be like 20,000 if you destroy like one vehicle, for example, and if you destroy all of them, it's not that much more. Like, it might be like 30, 40,000 at most if you did a whole thing or something for fully loaded. So yeah, it's not a good money maker. What it is good for is a fully loaded ruiner, which is very difficult to destroy and whatnot. The amphibious assault. That one involves the technical aqua, and as the star shows, I haven't really played it. Because it does need another associate. Because yeah, technical customers. Because yeah, technical aqua has a gun on it. But either way, the technical aqua is pretty slow and stuff. So I would say not really that good. Yeah, transporter. Transporter, this one you can do. Transporter, I think you make like $40,000, but it's not like a 1 hour cooldown, like fully loaded. I think transporter is only 30 minutes. Now Cloud's 1 hour, like fully loaded for the cooldown. And maybe that's still, I don't know what the cooldown is on it, but again, I doubt it's worth doing. Transporter. Yeah, you make like 45,000, I want to say, at most with transporter, and it can be done every 30 minutes compared to an hour, like most of the special vehicle VIP works. So this can be a nice one because of that lower cooldown. Fortified. Fortified, yeah, when you go in the armored boxville and then you survive until time runs out. So again, like I explained with asset protection, it does have that minimal time limit that you have to spend on it, which is kind of annoying. But at the same time, I think the cooldown's only 30, 45 minutes or something. So cooldown's not bad. And also, you make like 70,000 on double money instead of like 35,000. It's basically a guarantee because of a minimum time limit. And yeah, for Fortified, I recommend going in like the storm drain and then going through like the underground sections. That way it's harder for people to see you. And you can do it invite only, but again, there is AIs that go after you, so it's good for the AIs to go underground regardless. And yeah, velocity, kind of the same thing as with the rocket voltic, and then you're staying at top speed to not get like detonated by an explosion. And that one, I think if you have associates, you can actually reduce that 10-minute time limit, but if you're doing it solo, also 10-minute time limit. And yeah, ramped up. That one you do need associates in the organization, so you will need at least 2 people. Because it was originally designed with the idea to let you like ramp up over motorcycles. But yeah, if you're doing ramped up, then have people use their oppressors, possibly death bike as well, but not as much. But yeah, the oppressors being found on bikes is really good for ramped up, instead of ramping up the motorcycles with the ramp buggy. Now when you're collecting packages on rooftops. And yeah, stockpiling. Now when you collect cargo crates on land and sea using Blazer Aqua. Yeah, the speed on water is not necessarily the greatest in a sense, and yeah, because you're having to go on land and at sea, and it's a land vehicle, not like an air vehicle or a vehicle with rocket boost. I don't feel it would really be worth the time. And yeah, again, I think Fortified and Velocity have a 30 or 45 minute cooldown, and these both make $70,000, which is pretty great. And the cooldown's even less, kind of, but still it does have that like minimum time that it'll last out, especially for Fortified, where there's no way of reducing it. With Velocity, you can reduce it with Associates. I think there's like air checkpoints on it again. But yeah, Headhunter, one of the more OG VIP works, and probably one of the better ones, I would say, because it only has a 5-minute cooldown. But I think this has 5-10 minute cooldown at most on some cases. Assassinate all targets before time runs out. You can literally do that in a couple minutes, as I show off in certain reviews and guide videos and whatnot. So depending on the vehicle you use, you can do it pretty quickly. Air freight, this one does require players outside of the organization. Plus I think there's like AIs that go after your cargo bot, and you're basically carrying the container. Just avoid air freight, I would say, because the container actually has value on it. So again, in a sense, it's kind of like asset protection where there's value that you can lose. Therefore, it's not worth doing. Haulage, that one you're kind of taking a trailer across the map. And yeah, there's vehicles like the Phantom Wedge, maybe the MLC can do it as well. So haulage is pretty accessible, especially with the Phantom Wedge or maybe the MLC now, obviously, as well. But at the same time, I don't really necessarily know if it's not worth doing compared to like Headhunter. But still, it could be a pretty decent one, depending on the lobby you're in, if you can even do it. Hostile Takeover, this one you're getting a package from my security area delivered to drop off. This one can be done easily in a few minutes, and you can even choose your location between those 4. So because you can choose a location, that's pretty nice. But does pay out less than Headhunter, so because of the payout, and I think they pretty much have the same cooldowns, you should do Headhunter over Hostile Takeover. Asset recovery, steal 1 or more vehicles or a police station deliver them to the drop-off location. But yeah, that one's stealing vehicles, so obviously since it's forcing you on a like certain vehicle, that's probably lower than what you're using to get to in the first place. I don't think it would be that good. Plus, I don't recall the payout necessarily being that good either, for what you do at least. So that's going to be a longer one, because if I have to go in different vehicles, I might not even have performance upgrades and stuff. And your executive deathmatch, you need other VIPs in a session. You're basically going in a deathmatch against another VIP, which I highly do not recommend, unless you're doing it with like a friendly VIP or something that you're friends with or something. Because yeah, if you're doing executive deathmatch, you're most likely just going to put a target on your back, and I don't really feel the payload and stuff would be not worth it. Same thing with executive search, just that people have to try and find you and stuff. And that one you just need people outside of your organization. And yeah, you have to keep moving in that one, because I think if you don't move, it does show your location and stuff like that. Pretty fun mode, but at the same time, I wouldn't recommend it again, because like executive deathmatch, you're basically just want to put a target on your head, essentially, I would say. Sightseer is kind of like Headhunter, kind of, except you're picking like free packages and you're having to do like hacks and stuff. This one, again, can go pretty quick, and plus this one doesn't have any enemies to go against if you don't want any enemies to go against, unlike with Headhunter. The Headhunter and Sightseer are kind of a couple of the better ones, so yeah, I would say Sightseer is one of the more top tier ones, and again, like with Headhunter, it's only like a 5 or 10 minute cooldown at most. I think if you go like back to back on some of them, I think they tend to have longer cooldowns, by the way, for one, say like 5 to 10 minutes. And piracy prevention, that one involves the yacht. And again, you're kind of going to put a target on your head, like with executive deathmatch and executive search. Because yeah, and this one's also kind of like fortified, especially in kind of velocity, where there's that minimal 10-minute time limit. So you basically have to protect your yacht for like 10 minutes. So I wouldn't really do it because you do need people outside your organization, and it's probably going to just mainly put a target on your head if anyone decides to go for it to try to get the money instead. So in essence, these are the ones I would say are worth it and not worth it, or good, not good. Cloud, I would say, is good. I would avoid fully loaded amphibious assault when it comes to making money. Transporter can be pretty decent, even as a cooldown and a 1 hour cooldown on Cloud. Fortified and velocity can be pretty decent because they're like high payout, and also not having an hour cooldown as well, I would say. So fortified and velocity can be pretty good. Oh, and I didn't mention a strategy about velocity. I want to do that once I talk about all this. Ramped up can be good if you have the associates in your organization. So if you do have associates in your organization, then yeah, I'd say ramped up could be pretty good. But at the same time, I'm not familiar with the payout. But I imagine the payout's one of the better ones between the special vehicle VIP work. Stockpiling with the Blazer Aqua, I would probably say not worth it. Headhunter, worth it. Definitely one of the better ones. Air freight, definitely not, because you can lose value if the crate gets damaged. Haulage, I would say, is kind of basically better air freight in a sense. At the same time, you do need people outside organizations, though. That one's kind of not necessarily bad, but also not very good either. This one's pretty decent, not one of the better ones, though. I would avoid asset recovery. I don't feel it's worth what you have to do in that one for the pay you get, if I recall. And yeah, executive deathmatch, executive search, I don't really recommend those because you're going to put a target on your back. Sightseer, like Headhunter, one of the better ones, I would say, for grinding VIP work. Yeah, the hell, I think my game is like stuttering or some shit. My ISP's been a bitch recently, though, so I could have to deal with it for all I know. It's Sightseer again, like Headhunter, one of the better ones. And finally, piracy prevention. That one involving the yacht, yeah, this one's like these two where you put a target on your head, so for that reason I wouldn't really do piracy prevention. Sightseer has to take over, Headhunter, ramped up if you have associates, velocity fortified, transporter, and Cloud. I think those are kind of 8 better ones. That's kind of less than half that I kind of narrowed it down to. They're kind of good, pretty decent. And yeah, VIP challenges, I can't really show off the VIP challenges, but I think I know some of them. I'll talk about a few of them that I remember that are kind of good. But yeah, There's the most wanted one where you have to like outlast the cops for a certain amount of time. Most wanted can be pretty good, I would say. It's definitely one of the better VIP challenges for most wanted, with the wanted level having to like survive the cops a certain amount of time. Then there's Salvage. Salvage involves like collecting underwater checkpoints, which you can do pretty easily with a scuba suit or even like the new Torador and stuff like that. So yeah, Salvage is one of the better VIP challenges, but again, not everyone makes the same amount of money, and you do need at least 2 people to start these up. So I highly recommend workover challenges again. I'm just kind of giving some. I think there's a market manipulation one where you have to like hack a bunch of ATMs or something like that. I think there's another one kind of like that where you basically rob a bunch of like stores. That one can be kind of good. Yeah, that's quite a few I can think of. I think I was thinking of a 5th one, but I think I forgot what it might be I wanted to talk about. But again, I can't really show it anyways because it does need other associates. And plus, it's not as good as VIP work because of the pay difference. Like, obviously, you can split money with people if you want to, like, share a little bit more money and make it a bit more fair and stuff. But, yeah. Just do VIP work, I would say, if you're going to do any of the VIP stuff, which, yeah, I wouldn't say is as good anymore because it is new free mode stuff with the payphone hits and, then the fucking security contracts. Those two being pretty good in free mode opportunities, I would say. Yeah. Can kind of compete with the VIP work and stuff now, I would say. And yeah, there's a couple adversary modes, and then I think it's basically just discounts from there. But yeah, as I mentioned the last time, they brought back 4 adversary modes for a limited time only. I think 2 of them were on money before. But yeah. Starting off, there's the interior versions of Resurrection. There's the Bunker, Diamond, and then probably Missile Base as well. But yeah, all those free interiors, those basically have Resurrection permanently. But yeah, it's kind of team deathmatches that people can come back to life and stuff like that, as far as I remember. So it is a pretty fun mode, I would say. But and like a full match with the most amount of rounds and stuff, you can probably make at most like $200,000 for like any adversary mode, I would say. So probably not that worth it. And yeah, obviously there's a regular Resurrection and then Tiny Racers. Regular Resurrection, obviously the same thing, except you're not in interiors or like outdoors in like a team deathmatch style mode where people can come back to life. So yeah, definitely a pretty fun mode in my opinion, but yeah, not really too worth playing unless you want to play it for a limited time. It's all because Rockstar mults game modes now. And yeah, Tiny Racers. Tiny Racers is like a 2D universe Grand Theft Auto style adversary mode, if I remember, where it's basically like top down and you're in like vehicles and stuff like that. So it's kind of like the 2D universe Grand Theft Auto games, Grand Theft Auto 1, Grand Theft Auto 2, and then London 1961, 1969, I think, for the like mission packs for Grand Theft Auto 1 or something. So yeah, it's kind of like those 2D universe Grand Theft Auto games as far as I remember. So if you're not a big fan of the 2D universe Grand Theft Auto games, then maybe worth skipping out on. Again, obviously being in adversary mode. I imagine pretty much all of them pay out the same. It's more depending on like the amount of rounds that can be done at maximum, and then also like how long the game mode in general lasts. I don't necessarily really think Tiny Racers would be one that lasts that long. I feel Resurrection can kind of last a bit long because of the like concept of bringing people back to life in a team deathmatch style mode. So if one's more worth playing than the other, it's probably the Resurrection, these ones, and the interior ones over Tiny Racers. At least in my opinion. I might customize the Patriot Mil-Spec here. Wait, oh yeah, 22,500 for my payphone hit. And yeah, for security contracts, I have a whole dedicated stream on like covering like one of each of the different security contracts to kind of show in general how the security contracts work. By the way, I wanted to show a payphone hit because it was there, obviously, and I probably would have done one anyways. And right, I didn't talk about velocity and my strategy for velocity, but yeah. For velocity to like VIP work with the Rocket Voltic, I like to start around the casino, have a like be around the casino so Rocket Voltic spawns around the casino. Let me get up here a little bit so I don't have to do that again, hopefully. But yeah, for velocity with Rocket Voltic, I forgot to mention strategy, but yeah, I like to be around casino and then I like to go on this long highway. Up until like the Vespucci Beach section, then you don't want to go straight, you want to still go through the highway here, and keep going on the highway essentially until you get to like the bridge, essentially is where the 10 minutes tends to like stop essentially. And yeah, obviously, I wouldn't recommend using the rocket boost on the Rocket Voltic unless you absolutely need to, unless you're like literally about to die or something. If you're already at top speed, I wouldn't use the rocket boost because that way you would have to go on more highway. Because obviously the idea of Rocket Voltic's like velocity VIP work is to like stall the like timer and stuff like that, I would say. So that's a strategy for velocity I forgot to mention earlier, which again is this one. But yeah, the new vehicle, I'll go over it here now. But the new vehicle, Mammoth Patriot Mil-Spec, instead of being $1,710,000 of the trade price, not trade price, but buy it now price is $1,710,000. The trade price is $1,282,500, and I'm gonna go yellow for it. Oh my god. I think I'm hovered over here because I'm about to customize it, and then I'll probably go over to discounts afterwards. And plus, I think I'm explaining things pretty good, so I don't necessarily think I'm gonna be playing it, because, yeah, my ISP has been a fucking bitch recently, taking shit offline for little to no fucking reasons, so, yeah. Because my ISP likes to be a fucking bitch, I'm probably not gonna be grinding VIP work and stuff. And yeah, my like 3.7 to 3.8 million should cover the vehicle, and it's Amani Tech. Because yes, this vehicle does have the Amani Tech, as I went over in the leak video that people just like to hate on randomly for some fucking reason, even though people can't publicly see that shit unless they got like a fucking extension thing on Chrome or some shit. And yeah, I went yellow for a reason. I'll kind of explain it. I did go yellow for a reason. I might slightly change it up, I don't know. And yeah, by the way, Prime Gaming is just $100,000. They don't really care for Prime Gaming anymore as far as I can tell, considering they've just been doing $100,000 constantly since the new update is released. So yeah, I don't think Prime Gaming they really care to bother with anymore, aside for that measly $100,000 they give, which for some reason they reduced from like 200 to 50 that they've done before. Certain people would repay over Prime Gaming. It's a bit ridiculous that they don't do much for it. like they once did, obviously, but nowadays they don't. So yeah, if you're Prime Gaming, just be happy for that measly 100,000, which, yeah, it's something, but still very bare minimum shit. Yeah, the Patriot Mil-Spec. The new Patriot Mil-Spec is essentially the classic Patriot from the 3D universe Grand Theft Auto games, being Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City Stories, and Vice City Stories, and I think there's Grand Theft Auto Advance as a kind of one-off kind of 3D universe game, but yeah. Patriot Mil-Spec is kind of basically the 3D universe Patriot in this game. 27 customization options. I didn't really expect to not have good customizations, obviously, but yeah, armor. And yeah, having the Amani tech, of course, it does have heavy plated doors for armor plating, which I think is actually pretty unique, actually. I don't think the other vehicles have, like, heavy plated doors. I think it just, like, adds armor to the side of the vehicle, so having, like, the extra cosmetic of the heavy plated doors is actually pretty cool. Doesn't give much, like, protection in the windows, though, but again, these do have that bullet-resistant glass. And if you don't want to have, like, the armor and, like, the machine guns and the slick mines, and you just want the bullet-resistant glass, you're in luck, because these vehicles come pre-installed with the bullet-resistant glass. And I think even without the armor, I think from what I watch on Ghillie Master, if you're inside of the vehicle, you still get to survive a couple homing launchers, even without that heavy-plated doors. If for any reason you don't want it for any reason. Alright, 16 extra options here for the bull bars. Some of it does add some add-on lights here. What the fuck? What? I mean, random ass bot comments on my stream still, apparently. But me personally, I don't care too much for what I put on my vehicles. I just usually go to bottom options. But yeah, I think I hear the external lighting on this vehicle does work. At least some of it does. Actually, 10 options for front bumper, sides for stock. And yeah, quite a few to several rear bumpers as well. Yeah, the exhaust. Again, it seems they kind of ruined the being able to do the 2 triggers to be able to see the exhaust without, like, smoking away. I think you used to be able to do that, but you can't really do that anymore, even in, like, what's on those customs, it seems. But yeah, quite a few to several exhaust options here. Some of them kind of just seem to be the same, but with 2, so I don't know, these exhaust options seem a little bit lame, I feel, but still pretty cool regardless, though. At least in my opinion. Alright, a few to several hood options. Yeah, some of these won't change, obviously, because they're primary and secondary. If you don't want like an overly ridiculous amount of carbon, then yeah, these top couple might be better, obviously. But yeah, once you get to the later feud, and it does put some good carbon on there, or not good carbon necessarily, but puts a decent amount of carbon stuff on there. It looks like. And I'm gonna go to Liberty City Loop. And again, it does have that Amani tech, so it is another vehicle now that has that Amani tech, and that's why I wanted to go to the agency for this one. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Missile Lock-On Jammer on this one, because I think with the other one that's coming out, I think I want to be doing that remote control unit. I'm not gonna talk much about it though, but yeah, I do have a leak video on it, and there's other things out there, obviously. So I'm going to Missile Lock-On Jammer, plus I hear this one's actually kind of slow, so the Missile Lock-On Jammer could be good for this one, for sure. And yeah, the remote control unit, I think there's a clear difference between this Patriot and the regular Patriot that's been in the game since day one, and same with the Patriot stretch. So yeah, I don't really think you're going to be able to camouflage much with this vehicle as like a civilian or something. So yeah, I feel this one, the Missile Lock-On Jammer, would kind of be better, in my opinion at least. First impressions at least. I'll do the neon kit later. And yeah, this does have 10 liveries. The last couple are kind of disappointing though. As I'll explain, but yeah. Military issue here, and adds a little bit of military like livery kind of stuff in the front. Pretty minimalistic, but also pretty cool at the same time, in my opinion. Patriot white side stripe, definitely want to be one of the more like minimalistic ones on here, I imagine. For those who like the minimalistic ones. Patriot black side stripe. There's kind of the same thing, but there's kind of double stripes. Where does it even add a stripe? I'm confused. Is it even adding anything? The other one doesn't, but yeah, either way it says double stripes, so I'm confused. Oh, I do see stuff in the front actually. So you might see more if you depend on the hood option. Tire tread makes it look like the vehicle got ran over, obviously. Pretty cool in my opinion. USA flag, definitely need that on a Patriot. And then these last couple were pretty disappointing. I think they're just recycled gun running liveries on here. The 90 sandbox camo, the large geometric camo, and then the small digital camo. And yeah, obviously being tied to the gun running like research, I don't know if it's going to have the research, but yeah, with newer vehicles that have these gun running liveries, it might just unlock them instantly. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm definitely not going this free because they're recycled ass gun running liveries. They're like the most recycled liveries in the use, I feel. So, oh yeah, I'm going this USA flag then. Some decent mirror options here. Good several here. I imagine mirrors aren't broken like with the Xeno. And yeah, again, being a Monty-Tech vehicle has access to machine guns. Would have been pretty cool if it had like a weaponized, like Tampa style, like gun on the roof. In my opinion, that would have been really cool because I think there are like Hummer, like Humvee kind of vehicles I hear that have like guns on top and stuff. But it would have been cool if they gave it the weaponized Tampa machine gun, like the one that can be fully rotated and whatnot. That would be pretty cool. Would actually give it some good usage compared to the rest of them. But yeah. Lots of machine guns, pretty high up vehicle here, so it could have a good time hitting the drivers. So these could be some better machine guns compared to some of the other Monty-Tech vehicles, due to their positioning and whatnot. Whereas some of the other ones are lower to the ground. And again, like all the other Monty-Tech ones, has access to the slick mines. But I hear there's an issue with the silk mines on this vehicle where if you're going like a fast speed, it tends to like hit like when you're driving or something. So it could spin you out. Or maybe it doesn't work like that, or maybe it just doesn't activate a lot of times if you're going high speed. I think I heard that's an issue from Guilty Master right now. I think I watched his video on it and it sounds like it's an issue at the moment. So I'm doing it regardless. Obviously, I go crew mode on all my vehicles. Camo might change over to, I don't know, no, they have to like the American flag one. I kind of want to do like an American flag, like theme on it. I don't know though, man. Let's see. Okay, it's a primary and a secondary. I might keep one as a yellow, but yeah. Guess I'll go crew on the primary, why not? So I'm going to change it up a little bit, but there is kind of a little bit of inspiration for the build, so we'll keep one yellow. I guess change over to matte even. Yeah, there's quite the difference on that, I think at least. Actually, I don't know, I guess I'll just do all yellow, because there is a certain build again I'm kind of going for. Or, I don't know. I might do a classic of some different yellow, actually. There's only like 3 yellows to choose from, I think. Yeah, there's race yellow, and then there's dew yellow. Okay, I'm a big fan of dew, so I'm scared I'm going to do yellow. Because, yeah, Mountain Dew, why not? It might be kind of ugly-ish with both of those different yellows, one being a matte and one being a, like, classic, but I don't care, it's my vehicle, I'll customize how I want. And I want 2 yellows, so I'm doing a yellow and neon color. And yeah, I'll do yellow colored headlights at the car meet. Roof. Primary roof. Roof rack. I thought I saw no roof there for a second. I would have been like, whoa, that's crazy. Oh yeah, I'm going this last one for sure. And again, I think I hear a lot of these external lights actually work, which is quite nice. Because sometimes they do external lights that you can do for these modifications, and sometimes they don't work. Ooh, yo, I like these stinger side steps here. And yeah, I know a vehicle like this tends to have high suspension stuff most likely here, but I always do my suspension as low as it can be, why not? Barely costs anything, so might as well. And yeah, you basically have the option to remove the plates, and then primary and secondary. There's a couple tailgates here. Alright, truck bed has some decent customizations, good several options here. And this again shows a little bit of inspiration from the 3D universe. Again, it's kind of a Patriot classic, but it's considered Mil-Spec because it's kind of an off-roady Patriot, essentially. But yeah, in Grand Theft Auto 3 and other 3D universe games, there's like the hardtop that the Patriot can have in the back of it. So yeah, it kind of essentially proves that it's supposed to be like a 3D universe kind of rendition, but for GTA Online, like they have done with other vehicles in the past. Just not as obvious because they didn't go with Patriot Classic. I feel Patriot Mil-Spec is a kind of fitting one, but so I actually do like the name that they went with it. Oh yeah, I did go matte yellow, I guess, on the secondary. I thought I did that for primary, but yeah, I did secondary as I why not. And yeah, you can get ones that even block the windows entirely there on the side, so you can get some decent protection with some of these. Especially these last couple, you can get some crazy good protection with it. So that could be something. So that could be something good compared to other modding tech vehicles. And yeah, I think there's literally a Mil-Spec off-road rim, which is cool. I'm pretty pretty sure this counts as off-road, if not, maybe SUV, but yeah. Maybe there's SUV one, I don't know. Rocket Mil-Spec. Okay, I guess I'll maybe go outside and see what the wheel type is actually real quick, why not? Or I don't even have to do that, I can just check here. Good. But yeah, it is the off-road, not SUV. And again, Ruffy1322 has yet to do the testing video yet for the Patriot Mil-Spec, so I do not know what this performance is, by the way, so just wait for Ruffy1322 or whatever other source to go for a lap time and top speed of its vehicle. But no better choice than the Mil-Spec steel here. I think that was all the stuff I had to go back to. I think I only had to go back for the colored, like, neon underglow, and obviously I know to do the colored headlights at the car meet. Don't think there's any other, like, options I skipped over aside for the neon underglow. Gotta go to car meet, put on those colored headlights, and then I might also test drive it as well. And then discounts. Assuming my stream works long enough, because ISP's been a fucking bitch recently. And jeez, man, I can already tell how slow this is, even with all the engine upgrades I clearly did on the stream. But yeah. I saw Gilly Master's in-depth guide on the Patriot Mil-Spec. What the hell, a whole vehicle just despawned there, did it not? The whole... But yeah. I saw Gilly Master's whole video on it, and yeah. Patriot Mil-Spec was... The Patriot Mil-Spec was slower than the Insurgent Pickup Custom and the Night Shark, and yeah, especially the Insurgent Pickup Custom, I felt it could have been faster than that, at least. So this is kind of slow for an Amani Tech vehicle and stuff like that, so yeah, Missile Jammer could be a good one for this one especially, I feel. But yeah, again, with the remote control unit, obviously the remote control unit on all of them can be pretty good, but at the same time, I don't think you can really, like, distinguish it much from a regular Patriot if you wanted to, like, camouflage it a bit, so I don't think that would be a good idea to put the remote control unit on the Patriot Mil-Spec especially. Just feel it's one of the easier ones to distinguish between a civilian vehicle and like a player vehicle. So obviously when you're using the remote control unit, you're off radar. Ooh, and that icon's pretty cool on there, that's awesome. I like the detailing on their icons. And yeah, there's one more Amani Tech vehicle aside from this, by the way. That's to be released in a drip feed. Oh yeah, still gotta do the colored headlights. I think just takes the character out of the vehicle every time for some reason when going in. Unless I did that. Yeah, obviously I'm going yellow, because I went yellow on basically everything else. And yeah, there is a reason I went yellow. I think there's a Bulletproof Patriot in Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories that has yellow to it. I know Grand Theft Auto 3 obviously has the Bulletproof Patriot because I played the definitive edition of the game recently on the channel, like in the last month or two. But yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a yellow Patriot in Liberty City Stories that has Bulletproof. That is Bulletproof in Liberty City Stories, so I kind of put a little bit of inspiration in this build from that. With the yellow coloring for primary and secondary. the USA livery and then all the crazy cool attachment stuff. Obviously, it's just nice, like fun extra stuff. So like having fun with my vehicles, I don't make them minimalistic and stuff. Which obviously there's a market for minimalistic vehicles, but like going crazy with mine. So I'm not saying it's bad that people are minimalistic with their vehicles. I'm just saying it's not for me. Okay, come on. There you go, game. Oh yeah, it seems like all of those work. Besides for maybe the ones beneath the top ones on the roof, maybe. But yeah, right away, from my first impressions from this Patriot Mil-Spec, I don't think it's going to be a top vehicle choice. And yeah, I think I hear you can use these in races if you don't like put the machine guns on them or something. Could be wrong. You could maybe race with the machine guns as well. It might just disable it like with other vehicles like the Viscerus and stuff that already do that. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be a top contender in the off-road class. I don't see it being the Vagrant. Because I imagine the Vagrant's obviously faster than this. So just some first impressions off of my personal experience, and yeah, that one was my fault, but still, I don't think we're gonna get time anyways. And yeah, I think with the vehicle release, it's already going to be a long stream, so yeah, I don't think I'm doing VIP works or anything. I think I explained the VIP works and like the security contracts and stuff like that good enough already. I'm holding the trigger, I feel, a lot of the time, and it's kind of lap time. Minus the fact I crashed into that wall. Even with crashing into the wall, it would have maybe been a little over 110 at this point, I want to say. But I think that's one of those new like daily objectives they added with the new update. With the contract DLC. And yeah, I'll be going over the discounts once I go outside with the vehicle here. Yeah, I just don't see that being a top contender for the off-road class. Plus, in off-road races, you can use like certain dirt bike. Plus, in off-road races, you can use certain dirt bikes like the Sanchez and the BF400 and stuff like that. So that kind of already makes off-road class not really that great for racing in a sense, no matter how good it is. But yeah. Starting off here, I'll point the little cursor here because I'm not going to bother going to the casino and whatnot, but yeah. There's free drinks at the music locker in the Diamond Casino. So that's a little small discount there, obviously. Dynasty Executive has some discounts for some property stuff here. Yeah, that's right. There's the agency stuff on here now, but it's easy to distinguish these areas. And there's not as many of them as on Mil-Spec foreclosure. But yeah, I believe the Mil-Spec Tower is 4 million. I think it's normally 4 million for Mil-Spec Tower. I mean, 40% off is probably somewhere over $2 million. So you can definitely get this at a decent price, but it's not one of the huger discounts they do on the offices sometimes. But yeah, the most expensive should be over 2 million at some point just for the property. upgrades or innovations. Those are 40% off as well. Or actually, those are 30% off, not 40. Still a discount, nevertheless. So if you want a sex change on your personnel, apparently it's 105,000. It's at 150. And yeah, going into the more important ones here, there's the gun locker. I think this was the first property to add the gun locker, but yeah, there's a complimentary. I think there's complimentary gun lockers in the game, like with the nightclub. I think the nightclub you don't have to add on a gun locker; it comes standard with a gun locker for the nightclub, for example. So if you want to like get rid of certain weapons, obviously gun locker could be nice, but yeah. There's definitely better options out there if you just want one gun locker, for example. The safe is obviously just a cosmetic little thing, so that isn't really worth as much money as it is necessarily. But since it's kind of pre-go now, obviously not bad to go for necessarily. But the one I do highly recommend here between these extra ones is the accommodation. And yeah, the accommodation that allows you to spawn in the office, which you can spawn certain helicopters and stuff, and Valkyrie and like Salvage and like other attack helicopters like that. Whereas I think with this agency, you can't even spawn like attack helicopters, just like civilian helicopters. So it can be one of the better accommodations to take advantage of with the CO office. I'd say it would be kind of better within the agency, because I think you can spawn like Savages and like Valkyries and like Annihilators, maybe Buzzards and stuff like that, which I don't think you can do at the agency. And yeah, I think in the agency there's like a personal vehicle option, for example, but you can only do like the vehicles in your agency, whereas I think the office there's like a personal vehicle thing you can do from your assistant, and it's like all your different properties I think you can call a vehicle from in there, so... Yeah, the accommodation is pretty good now, especially even compared to the agency on the same website, I would say. And yeah, plus you can do businesses and stuff that make like millions, but again, the agency does have the advantage of having all those like invite-only opportunities, which is nice. But yeah, you need office obviously to do the CO, like special cargo business. It's on a double money RP right now for these last few days for the event week. And you also get to do like the vehicle cargo importing and exporting. With importing and exporting for solo players can still be one of the top couple of few ways, I want to say, of making money, especially in a public lobby, if you're in a public lobby and not like invite only for some reason. So yeah, there's definitely some good money you can make with the with any of the offices, obviously, the CO ones from the beginning, from like not early, but mid 2016, for the Finance Phony update. I think I mentioned everything worth mentioning there with the office, at least for a need to know basis. And actually, let me go back to that. Because it's not going to be on the screen, because it's outside of this, but yeah. I'm not going to bother going all the way to, like, a special cargo warehouse, or I'm not going to go all the way to the office to go on the computer to, like, show off the, like, special cargo warehouses, because I think you need to be in a public lobby just to use that computer. But yeah. The special cargo warehouses are 40% off. It doesn't seem to matter if it's small, medium, or large. Sometimes they only do the large warehouses because that's what most people get, obviously. But I think all special cargo warehouses across the board should be 40% off. And yeah, you can own up to 5 of the special cargo warehouses, so definitely take advantage of that, like, warehouse discount if you want to get any extra, like, special cargo warehouses, especially with Caliprico being a thing now. For those who know what to do within like an hour and stuff. And there's some vehicle discounts, obviously. Looks like there's 8 vehicle discounts. So I have to see what websites they're on for before I start to go into them. Okay, I think Legendary, Severn, Warstock, I think I have all the 8 vehicle discounts, it looks like. But yeah, the Ubermax cipher here, instead of being $1,162,500, it's $813,750. And that's a 30% off discount. Don't know why they're being so stingy on the discount for a vehicle that doesn't even perform that good and whatnot, but yeah. As I mentioned throughout the stream, they did nerf all the tuners of the contract DLC, so unfortunately the ciphers not really that worth getting. But even in the tuners DLC, it wasn't a good performance for the tuners subclass, so I would just avoid the Urmux cipher and don't even get it for customizations either, because all the tuners have good customizations. The Jester RR here, on the other hand, this might actually be one I might want to pick up here actually on a discount off stream, because I will probably get rid of my regular Comet S2 since the new Cabrio is coming out, and that's been confirmed when they gave out the liveries, so that's not really a spoiler, I would say. But yeah, the Jester RR also 30%, but again, they did nerf all the tuners, I think for their general performance as well, so they are affected in the sport class as well. Not just their side tuner class, their side tuner subclass. But yeah. At least with the tuners update, the Jester RR was actually the #1 tuner when it came to top speed, which yeah, top speed's not really the most important for races. You do need to worry for that lap time to turn corners and stuff. But if it's anything like it was in the original Los Santos Tuners update, given the nerfs to all the tuner vehicles and stuff, the Jester RR could still be very good for top speed, but I feel with the nerf it might be underneath the top 10 in the sport class for the top speed now, for its main class, not its subclass. So this one could be one kind to avoid now, I would say, and with the nerf and everything, but at the same time, it is probably still one of the better tuner subclass vehicles for those street pursuit races. So it definitely could be one worth getting. Just sucks that they nerfed all the tuners, apparently. And yeah, by the way, for the street prices, you just get them from like rank 5 to rank 75 in the karting reputation. Randomly, as far as I know. Also, XA21 seems to be the next one here. Instead of being almost 2.4 million, it's a little over 1.5 million, and I expect this is over 30%, like 40. Alright, it's at 35% on this one. And I'll have to take a look at this spreadsheet I used from Roughly 1322 on this supercar class. That way I can go over the performance. But yeah, XA21, well, I gotta find it on that spreadsheet, damn it. Okay. I found it's in lap time right now, which is a 7th place apparently for the supercar class, but then it actually, yeah. I'm not going to go over performance of it actually, because there is new supercars with the contract update. But if it does have 7th place at lap time before the contract update, then I don't really see that changing too much, because the champion doesn't perform good. It's already known that the champion is not a good performing supercar. I think the Ignis might take over the XA21 for lap time. I could be wrong on that. And then it's unknown as far as I know about the Xeno. So this one could start getting towards the lower end in the lap time for the top 10, but if it's a 7th place lap time before the contract update, it could still be a good option to pick up. So I will say it could be kind of worth doing. Though I do hear this vehicle also has like the mirror issues that the Xeno has, where like the mirrors, depending on the ones you choose, could make the hitbox kind of wonky on the vehicle and therefore harder to drive. I think that's something I heard on the XA21. So you might want to be cautious on your mirror options. But I could still see it being kind of good regardless, so it could be kind of a good one. Alright, the Bravado of earlier, instead of being almost 700,000, it's a little over 400,000. And I think this one might be 40% if I saw it in the news wire. Alright, yeah, 40% off, and this is a sport car. But again, I don't really necessarily think it's going to be that worth going over the performance, because it's all these new vehicles until they all come out. But yeah, I'll try to see something on here. Kind of gonna have a little look on the spreadsheet that I'm looking at right now. Alright, earlier, I know for a lap time from what I'm seeing already isn't good, so if the new sport car is probably still not gonna be good, obviously. Alright, yeah. Currently, even without the new sport cars into account, the earlier is still not that good, so I would avoid this one. And Million's not on discount, just switched up at the moment. But the Zentorno is on a discount of some sort. When I saw it's a 35%. But I'll have a little look, see if there's anything worth mentioning even for the Zentorno. That might not change too much, but yeah. Alright, Zentorno is under 10th place for a lap time even before the contract vehicles. Okay. Trying to see its top speed, if there's anything worth mentioning with it, but yeah, no. Currently, it's underneath the top 10 even without the contract vehicles into account, so I wouldn't really bother with this one anymore for the performance, at least. Yeah, obviously customizations, I don't expect them to be bad or anything, but I wouldn't really get a vehicle for customizations. Alright, now war stock vehicles. I think there's at least a couple on here. And yeah, for these, I'll talk about their like weapon capabilities and stuff mainly, because they have that stuff. But yeah, the B11 Strike Force. I'll have to see the discount on it again, because I keep on to go back from the spreadsheet, the news wire. It's a 40% off discount for the B11 Strike Force instead of being 3.8 million, it's a little under $2.3 million, so kind of like 1.5 million in savings. That's pretty good, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the B11 Strike Force because of the weaponry. But it's one of the most weirdest designed planes in this game. But yeah, this plane does have tons of weaponry. It does have homing missiles, it has barrage missiles, and it has like an explosive cannon, and might even have bombs. I'm not sure on that one though. But yeah. The homing missiles, starting off with homing missiles, those are actually not that good homing missiles because there's no aircraft in the game, like full aircraft that has like anything above standard tracking for the homing missiles. I'm pretty certain on it, so I'll say the tracking's not going to be that good. But yeah, on an air vehicle, that would be pretty overpowered, so I'm glad that's the case. The problem with the homing missiles, though, compared to other aircraft in the game, is that they're actually limited. I think there's only 30 homing missiles on the B-11 Strike Force, and you basically gotta rely on the like barrage missiles unless you want to like respawn the B-11 Strike Force. So yeah, in terms of grinding capabilities, because of the limited homing missiles, I wouldn't recommend this for that alone, I would say, unless you want to collect all the different, like, weaponized, like, personal aircraft and stuff like that. There's exactly 20, yeah, there's like exactly 20 like customizable like aircrafts in the hangar though, so if you want like all the different customizable like aircrafts in the hangar that aren't just like respray, then yeah, the B-11 Strike Force could be worth it just to collect, I would say. But yeah, barrage missiles, I would say the barrage missiles are better on the like FH-1 Hunter. If you want barrage missiles, then I would probably get the FH-1 Hunter because it's a helicopter and not fucking it's here, right? It should be on this website. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. If you want barrage missiles, to get the FH-1 Hunter because it's helicopter based, therefore you get more control with the barrage missiles. So yeah, it's not the best barrage missile vehicle, I would say. And yeah, with a limited 30 homing missiles, it's not that great. And yeah, you would expect the cannon to be good on it, but it's not the Hydro, Laser, and Salvage cannon, which is the most powerful weaponry in the game, so for grinding capabilities, not that great. I see for balancing capabilities, it's good, but for grinding capabilities, it's not. And yeah, the explosive gun, I think you have to be very focused on your target, even if it's like a NPC on the street or like a civilian vehicle. So the cannon, it does have explosive projectiles to it and stuff, but it's not as good as it seems. It's not the Hydra Laser Savage cannon. You gotta actually kind of aim at your target for it to blow up and whatnot. So yeah, even the explosive cannon, not that great. So yeah, the weaponry is not gonna be super helpful for a grinding situation, I would say, but yeah. I mean, it's more useful than like 90-95% of the vehicles in the game, I would say, still. So for that reason, worth getting. And Rogue, I believe that's also 40% off. And yeah, that's not good stuff. I mean, that's not on discount, just good stuff at the moment. And then that's not on discount, just good stuff at the moment as well. So the Rogue's the only other worth stock discount. But yeah, 40% off instead of like 1.2 million on a trade price. It's $720,000. And the Rogue, I would actually say, is better to get than the Strike Force, actually. So if you are going to get one vehicle on this website for the event week, I would use the Rogue for a discount. And that's because you get the option for regular, like, machine guns, and then there's also the option for explosive cannons, I believe. Again, they're not the same as the Hydro Laser or Salvage guns for the explosive cannons, but the explosive cannons on the Rogue can actually be kind of good. I'd say the explosive cannons are definitely better on the Rogue than the Strike Force. So for that reason, I think the Rogue's definitely better to get than the Strike Force. And yeah, doesn't have barrage missiles, obviously, but it does have standard track and homing missiles, unlimited ammo, being an aircraft. So it can be a pretty decent grinding vehicle despite the cost, so it is a pretty good, cheap aircraft with weaponry on it. So I definitely would pick one up. And yeah, I gotta see what discounts have not been covered yet. But yeah, I think there's just one discount on Southern to talk about now. And I think it's the Dominator Asp. And yeah, the Dominator Asp stated being a little over 1.3 million on a trade price, which again, you get those for like rank 5 to 75 in the army essentially, for most of them. It is a little under 800,000 right now, but yeah. It is the better tuner muscle car, and it's also one that's not a sport car, so for that reason I would recommend the Dominator ASP for the unique classing for the like tuner subclass. for its primary classing. And yeah, the performance before the contract update was pretty average for the tuner class, so I imagine it might stay the same even with the nerf, because all the tuners got nerfed. But still, it's not going to be one that wins you a lot of races, I would say, if you're in a really, like, competitive race or something like that. So, I would say, especially because of the contract nerf with all the tuners, I would say the ASP is kind of not worth getting anymore. And yeah, that should have been it on the website here. And for all the discounts, period. And it was zeros again, just because I'm not on discount at the moment. Because they're supposed to say free and not $0 on them. That's why I say they're glitched up, by the way. But yeah, that is all discounts. Holy hell, man, I need to take a breather, goddamn it seems. But yeah. Plus my back's being a bitch right now, so yeah, I have to wander around sometimes and stuff. Cause yeah, I've been downloading a lot of like PC stuff since I got like a Steam wallet gift card or something for Christmas, so I've been using that during the like winter sale on Steam. I actually got a couple Rockstar titles. I got Bully Scholarship Edition and Manhunt for my Rockstar titles. I want to get Manhunt 2, but it's not on legitimate fucking sale, so I have to get it for like fucking abandonware or some bullshit. I don't fucking know. Torrent and all that kind of like terminology stuff I don't understand the greatest. It's not the biggest PC elitist or anything. Not even close or anything. And then yeah, I got like Left 4 Dead, I got both Portal games. I got Final Fantasy VII on Steam. Like the regular one, not the new one, obviously. So I got the most capable thing. My back's fucked up, I guess, because of all the fucking being on my laptop and stuff. But yeah. For the most part, that's going to be it for the stream. Next stream is probably going to be me going back to Vice City. I want to go back to Grand Theft Auto Vice City to play the game. Since, yeah, I took a break, obviously, because of the holidays, both Christmas and New Year's, I decided to just take a huge, long break on Vice City. Obviously, I've been doing these event week streams as they come across, and obviously for Red Dead, it's not really getting bothered with for shit, for the most part. And yeah, I don't care for these drug vehicles there, so I'm out of here. Okay, I don't know how I got the popos there, but... Oh, I guess maybe because I ran over someone, there was a popo there, like a security person or something. Yeah, next stream should be Vice City. I'll probably be returning that for Vice City to Definitive Edition. I'll probably be pulling out again, since it's been a while since holiday breaks and stuff. And obviously Red Dead Online is probably getting a new event week or something, I believe for January like 6th or something, if I recall. So I have some stream plans recently, maybe do Dr. Dre missions in the next couple weeks or something. And that will finally be it for the stream. Hope you enjoyed.